Good evening. This is Bill Miller again. Maybe video 6 or 7 at this point. I feel like I ramble on about the same things almost every time, but this is all super new to me. In case this is your first video, I discovered I was an emotional abuser and verbal abuser a month than a week ago maybe now. I discovered it. I almost lost my wife. I convinced her to come back and that I would change, and I did. Until about 3 weeks ago, we went out, had some drinks, and I reverted back to my old self. Became exactly what I was trying to not be anymore, and that was kind of the last straw for her, and I lost her. So now this is my bar that I live in until things get sorted out there. It's been a pretty rough go for me. I lost my wife a few weeks ago. I lost her 2 kids that I was, hoping to be a role model for. Neither one of them have had a father figure in their lives as a role model in a romantic sense with their mom. Now they won't, unfortunately. It won't be me anyway. My 4 kids clearly can't sleep with me here at the bar, so in a way I lost my 4 kids. I know that'll be a short-term thing, but I don't know how long before I get to go back to the house, or if I'm gonna have to find a new home, or how that's gonna work. I have one court date tomorrow, but I think we're just gonna do a continuance. I got charged with 4th degree assault, domestic violence assault, which is touching somebody in a manner that a reasonable person could find offensive. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. It's sad that relationships go that way when there's abuse. I can't say that I was the only abuser of the 2 of us, but I can say that I'm the only one that can fix me and take care of me. And if she never does or doesn't feel like she needs to, then that's something that she's that's completely up to her. All I know is I never want to live another day of my life being an abuser. It's a horrible realization. I hope, I wish I could, like I've said, before, there are millions of us out there. There are millions of people being abused, which means there are millions of abusers out there. The horrible stigmatism is that, the abusers are doing it. It's something that we choose to do. Like, we get up in the morning and, say, man, she better not cross me today, or I'm gonna, insult her, or, make her feel like shit about herself. Nothing like that ever goes through an abuser's mind. An abuser, generally speaking, is somebody that doesn't or never learned how to express themselves, their emotions, whether it be anger or sadness, confusion, frustration, fear. It really boils down to that. We never, for whatever reason, generally something from our childhood, we never took the time, took the care, had anyone care enough about us, had anyone teach us, or maybe we weren't willing to learn. I'm sure there's every reason out there as to like why so many people develop their emotions and they learn how to express their emotions in a peaceful manner, in an effective manner, while some of us are scared. We kind of stop our emotional development at a young age, after some trauma or something happens, and then we spend the rest of our lives relying on these little mechanisms, defense mechanisms, or whatever, instead of actually learning how to love someone, learning how to accept somebody, learning how to be loved. I know my wife always said, to me, and it was one of the most meaningful things she ever told me. And she said it often when I was upset. She said, I will love you enough. Like, let me love you the way that you weren't loved when you were young. I don't know. I'm not big on blaming parents for anything. Like, parents do the best they can do for the most part. But old-fashioned parents are old-fashioned parents. I'm a 49-year-old man. I mean, I was a 10-year-old child in 1983. I think dads back then were a heck of a lot different than dads right now. Dads back then were the provider and the disciplinarian, the leader. I don't know. But and the mom was kind of the softie or whatever. That would, make excuses to stick up for us kids and things of that nature. But, I don't feel like I lacked love growing up. I don't know what, if I did or not. She seemed to think that I probably wasn't loved the way I needed to be loved. My mom had 7 kids. My sister was kidnapped when I was 10 years old. It screwed up our whole world for years after that. And so maybe there's some truth to that. Either way, the important thing is realizing it. Like I was saying, I wish I could reach out to everyone. I wish I could just say, like, hey, you're not a bad person. Just take a few of these steps, like work on a few of these steps and see how it feels. When you get mad the next time, just take a step back, take a few minutes and say, like, am I actually mad? Like, did what she did or whatever, should that have made me mad? Or am I mad because I don't understand what she did, or I don't understand why she does the things she does? But not understanding why she does the things she does really shouldn't make you mad, a lot of times, you do things that she doesn't understand inevitably, and she probably doesn't get mad at you. She's just like, whatever. I've never been able to do that. If I didn't understand something that she did, I would criticize it to the point where she hated doing it because she hated the criticism. She didn't do it as much or whatever, or didn't do it around me because she just hated the criticism. So then it was like I got my way or something. I don't have to put up with that thing about her that I didn't understand, when the reality is, just even if you don't ultimately understand why something means so much to her that doesn't mean anything to you, like, who cares? If you put yourself in their shoes, and from my perspective anyway, my wife doesn't understand at all how I can listen to sports talk radio every day. She's like, every time I listen to it, they're talking about Russell Wilson, because I'm a Broncos fan. Like, it's like they say the same thing every day. And I'm like, no, they're not saying the same thing every day. Like, every day there's a little progression, there's another story, there's another tidbit, there's another whatever. I can listen to sports talk radio 3 hours a day easily. She doesn't understand it, but she doesn't criticize me over it. She doesn't make me feel like I'm stupid because I like sports. I like sports. I grew up playing sports. I can relate to sports. Sports are like the ultimate reality TV show. There's no acting, there's no, stage, there's no take 2, there's none of that stuff in sports. So, I've always liked sports. I know more stats than probably any human being should know about sports, because I'm a numbers guy, and sports mean a lot to me or whatever. And so whatever, but she doesn't understand it, but she also just lets me be me. And so, if you're where I was a couple months ago and you're, not sure if you're a physical or an emotional abuser or not, then maybe just ask yourself that. Like, do you love her being herself, or do you try to change her? Like, do you embrace everything about her? Do you accept everything about her, even if you don't love it, because that's how it should be. If you're trying to change her, then that's emotionally damaging. And that's exactly what I did. I would beat her down emotionally, criticize, cut down, make fun of all these things. She loves music, loves to sing, loves all this stuff. I didn't, it's not my thing, but who cares? So, just if you don't know if you're an abuser or not, there are a lot of things, a lot of books, not a lot, there are a few books you can read. You can Google things like, what are the signs or characteristics of an emotional abuser? And a lot of them are that. Make fun of her. Make fun of her in front of your friends. Boss her around in front of your friends. Put her down. Make comments about her appearance, or the way she dresses, the way she laughs. Anything that you're kind of criticizing about her just to make her feel bad or question herself when she's just being herself. Well, that's abuse. Like that's not any way to treat your wife or your spouse or your loved one. No one's gonna be alike. No one's gonna have understand everything about everyone, and you're not expected to. The only thing that you're expected to do is accept them and embrace them, build them up, talk them up, hold them up, carry them if you need to, make them feel more beautiful than they've ever felt, make them feel smarter than they've ever felt. All the things that if you were to watch a relationship, from a third person watching this relationship and see yourself, how would you want to see yourself? And it would be that. You would want her to brag about you to all of her friends. Like, my husband doesn't do that. He's amazing. And that's how I always pictured myself. I always pictured my wife bragging about me and how amazing I am, because that's what's inside me. Like, all the words I'm saying, I've known how to treat somebody, how to treat my wife. I just didn't, because I was not secure enough. Maybe I was too afraid to let down every wall inside me and just let her completely have my heart and my body and my life. So I protected it in stupid, childish ways. Like, at 49 years old, if you can't give your heart to the most amazing person you've ever met, what's the point? Like, just be alone for the rest of your life. Otherwise, find that person and just love them with everything you've got. Like I said, build them up, talk them up, be the sweetest thing they've ever met, be the funniest thing they've ever met, the sexiest thing they've ever met, the goofiest, the smartest, the wittiest, the most supportive, compassionate, loving, caring, attentive, trustworthy person that you can possibly be to them, and it will all be reciprocated. It will all come back to you, and you would make them the happiest person in the world, and that would make you the happiest person in the world. Beating them down with insults and degrading, while you might get your way, they might just cave and give you your way because they're tired of fighting it. It doesn't make anyone happy. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make you happy to look in a mirror and go, yeah, I got my way today because I told her to stop eating those cupcakes because she's not going to fit in her jeans anymore. Or, something like that. That doesn't make you happy on the inside. That you'd be embarrassed if someone you love that passed away is looking down on you like a grandparent and heard you talk like that to your wife. She'd be like, boy, don't you even. But if you are so great to them, if you just decide that I love this person and I'm going to make myself the most beautiful, lovable person I can possibly make myself, so this person never ever wants to leave my side, never wants to leave me, never wants to leave my side, That's how you keep a woman. That's how you keep a partner, is just be amazing to them, be loving, not abusive, not criticizing, not belittling, not jealous, not questioning everything they do. Just show them that you love them. Make sure they know every day how much you love them, how much you care, how much you need them in your life, how much they fulfill your heart. And like, just don't be afraid. You know, one guy said that I don't even remember, otherwise I'd give him credit. You know, he's like, you know, if you treat someone like crap and beat them down to make them feel like they're not good enough for anyone else in hopes of you not losing them to someone else because you make them feel like they're not worthy of anyone else, you know, like that's an unconscious thing that we all, or not we all, but people do. I'm sure me too. And then eventually they're going to get strong, they're going to get confidence, and they're going to leave you, and it's going to freaking hurt. Or you can love them with everything you've got, take down every wall for that person, talk them up, build them up, be the most loving husband or spouse or partner you can possibly be, make them brag about you to all of their friends and family, and they'll never leave your side. And if they do, it's going to hurt like hell, but the other way hurts like hell too. At least this way you can say, you know what, I gave it my all. I gave it my all, and you know, God just decided that we weren't right for each other, and whenever the next one comes along, I'm going to give that one my all too, because losing them is going to freaking hurt. It's devastating, and it's devastating if you treat them like shit and you lose them, or if you treat them the best you possibly can and you lose them. It's devastating either way. So just increase your odds by 1,000-fold, and be that amazing husband to them, be that amazing partner to them. Make sure that there's nothing that they can do or say that would make them, you know, want to lose you, want to question your love or commitment to them or anything, and you'll never lose them. Anyway, that's my thing for today. I lost mine. I write her a letter every single day of my life. I spend 2 hours a day on either reading or listening to videos or looking up ways and methods to change my behaviors and patterns in my brain. I write her a letter, which usually takes me 30 minutes to an hour, and just give her updates on where I'm at, tell her how much I love her, how much I miss her, how sorry I am. She'll never get the letters, but it's kind of my therapy, just like this is my therapy, talking to this. Writing that letter is kind of my therapy. It's the only way that I get to talk to her right now. And I wish she knew what I was writing. I wish she knew the progress that I'm making. I wish she knew how amazing, how much different I am today than I was, you know, a month and a half ago. And then, you know, yeah, but she'll never know, and that sucks. It sucks bad for me. I mean, yeah, it sucks bad. Anyway, until next time.